The other day, I went to the garage with my sister to go and get some chocolates, and I found my old collection of princess dresses. These are from when I was like literally 10 years old. Here's Sleeping Beauty. Oh, and here's Snow White. The reason why Belle wasn't there was because she married a beast, and 9-year-old me wasn't having any of that. It wasn't cute, it wasn't fun, it was not the one. I was not, no. These are like a decade old, so that was so crazy to me. And this, no, it's not Cinderella. This is my Virgin Mary costume. Now, the reason why I have a Virgin Mary costume and not a Cinderella costume is what we're going to get into today. We'll get into it in a moment. And you know what the crazy thing is? Cinderella was my favorite. So for her not to be there, like, it's a big deal to me. When I was a kid, I went abroad to a French-speaking country, and I could not understand a single thing that was on the TV. The only program I understood and would watch on marathon was cosplaying. I don't even know what the name of the show was, but it was basically a show all about cosplay, and I fell in love with cosplay. I wanted to cosplay so badly. I was trying to be Lola Bunny, I was trying to be Roxanne, Lola from Fishtail, the Beret Girl, Princess Keita, Pocahontas. Only the baddest. Only the baddest. But I never did. I never had the confidence to. In the UK, we have this thing called World Book Day. If you're from the UK, you know about it. If you're not, you might know. But basically, it's one day in the school year when everyone comes in dressed as like their favorite book character, and we talk about literature and children's literature, and you know, about the importance of English and stories. Every single year, all the coolest girls in my year knew that that was just an excuse to dress up as a Disney princess. That's all it was. Just like in Mean Girls and Halloween. Just like in Mean Girls, how they made, like, anyways. They would have a dressing up competition, a little story writing competition, and there'll be first place, second place, third place for all these competitions. And the biggest, best competition was always the dressing up competition. To win the female dressing up competition first prize, because I had one for male, one for female, that was like homecoming king and queen. So obviously every year I was trying to go for that prize. Your girl's a winner, come on. Anyways, every single year, without doubt, don't get mad, I would try to come in as Cinderella. Because, you know, like, before, like, the event's coming up and everyone's like, yeah, who are you coming as? Like, oh, really? Which princess are you coming as this year? Because, you know, you don't mind matching. It doesn't matter if two people come in the same costume, as long as yours looks better. As long as yours looks better. Do you know what I'm saying? But you have to, like, find out, like, who's trying to come in as Cinderella this year? Because in the hierarchy of princesses, Cinderella was at the top. The hierarchy was Cinderella, everybody else. Point is, Cinderella's at the top, and if you're the best dressed Cinderella, period, you're queen of school. So I was every single year without fail. I tried to come in as Cinderella, guys. I went to a primary school where, don't get mad, I went to a primary school where every single year without fail, people would always tell me the same thing. You can't come in as Cinderella. Oh, you're black. Oh, she's white. You can't, like, she's blonde, and you don't even have the same hair. Like, there's just nothing in common. Like, you can't be Cinderella. It's not gonna happen, baby girl. It's not for you. And every single year I listen to those people. But wait, that's not what's gonna get you mad. This is gonna get you mad. Don't be mad, but this is gonna get you mad. The year I decided to come into school dressed up as, because I was a little bit creative, I was getting creative with my costumes. The year I came in dressed up as Cinderella in rags. So I came in dressed up in rags, like I got old clothes, tore them apart, put some holes in them, got an old skirt, sewed some little patches on them, all myself, all homemade, handmade work. The year I came in as Cinderella in rags, it was, oh wow, what a pretty costume, that's so creative. And I almost got into the finals for the first time in my life, dressed as Cinderella in rags. But you guys were trying to hear it when I was dressed as Cinderella. Oh, no, wait. The next year, after I almost got into the finals dressed as Cinderella in rags, I came in as the ugly stepsister. I won second place. And nobody had anything to say about me not being white that year. Nobody had anything to say about me not being white when I wanted to come in as Cinderella in rags. Nobody had anything to say about me not being white when I came in as the ugly stepsister. Nobody had anything to say. It was silent. There was silence. There was nothing to hear. It was nothing. I'm over it. I'm actually over it. But the point is, this mentality stayed with me. So when I saw this cosplay program, all these like cool characters and stuff, I was like, no, I can't be that. I can't dress up as them because it's just not me. My skin, the hair, it's just, I can't. No one will ever think these people are me because I'm black and those people are not. Guys, we live in a society. If I could go back in time right now, I would go to myself on the morning of my final year at that primary school, the final World Book Day, and I would take the prettiest Cinderella dress of all. I'd make it myself. You guys saw me make my prom dress. I would make myself a dress for 9-year-old me, and I would take that dress and I would yeah, I'm fine. Anyways, I was saying I'd be like, wake up, little one, wake up. You better put this dress on. You better put this dress on and go to the ball. You better put this dress on and walk in there, Cinderella. Now. But I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Have you seen Cinderella's hairstyle? What is it? It's a bun. Doesn't your hair go into a bun too? Okay. Here you go. Here's the dress. Here is your coronet. Okay. You take that. You're going to Cinderella, and you're going to smash it, and you're going to look beautiful, and you're going to be the belle of the ball, because period. Like,
because y'all know I'm funny.
But yeah, it just comes to a bigger issue of me not being accepted. But the most irritating thing about those World Book Days were the people who would tell me after about, I think it was like 2010, 2009, the people who would tell me to go as Princess Tiana. Yeah, so today I'm going to list the reasons I have for beefing with Tiana. Number 1, why was Tiana working class? I was 9 years old. I just wanted to live in a castle like the rest of them. Okay, I did not want to be the princess who was a maid, a waitress, a servant. Like, why was the only black princess at that time? The idea of a princess who was working class was so foreign. It just wasn't a thing. It just wasn't a thing at these times. Now, when people bring up Cinderella, when I say this, Cinderella was not working class. Her father was a rich, high-class man. That's why the evil stepmother married the father, because obviously in the first place, she thought, wow, look, it's a powerful rich man. Let me go and marry him and take advantage of his riches. And obviously he died. She treated Cinderella like trash. And then obviously she tried to go and marry into the princess family because that was the next most powerful family up. So, you know, Cinderella, even though Cinderella was treated like a maid servant, she was high class, okay? So don't mix it up. Why was she working class, yo? Why? Who asked for it? Who asked for it? The original Princess and the Frog wasn't black. Everybody knows that. It was written by the Grimm brothers. She was like, I think she was European. She was European. She was white, Caucasian, something like that. She was not black. Nobody asked for this crossover of Princess and the Frog and black girl. We didn't ask for it. Nobody ever said, man, I really want the first princess to be the Frog Princess. Like, that is just the best. Like, every African American girl can relate to the Frog Princess story. We need to make the first black princess the Frog Princess. No. Nobody asked for it. 2. Her dress. It is the ugliest Disney princess dress I have ever seen. Had ever seen up until that point. Please, why, of all the Disney princesses that come out at that time, which one of them had a dress that was fashioned after an inanimate object? None of them. Apart from Tiana, whose dress was fashioned after a lily pad in a swamp. A swamp. It is the color of a swamp. Green. That's where Shrek lives. Are you understanding what is wrong with this? 3rd of all, the voodoo. The voodoo. Why do I have to be associated with voodoo just because I am black? Every other story had magic. Maleficent used magic. The evil queen used magic. Every other negative villain in every story ever used magic, but now it's black people. Now it's voodoo. Now it's dark magic. Now it's magic that's never used for good, only for evil. Please. Where is my fairy godmother? Where is my good magic? And I don't even believe in magic, to be honest with you, because obviously, you know, Christian. But come on, man. Give me some good magic. Do you understand that the magic that exists in Tiana's universe was only negative magic? There was no good magic in Tiana's universe at all. 3rd of all, 4th of all, how many 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th of all? Why was she low-key this lady's slave? Do you guys remember the white lady, the white princess? Tiana was a maid servant. I'm talking slavery. I'm talking the triangle slave trade, slavery, maid servant. She was a maid servant. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Let me read you out the original plot of The Princess and the Frog, which Disney thought was so great. They put it out there and people had to tell Disney it was racist. They didn't figure it out for themselves. People had to tell Disney this was racist. Let me read it out to you. A musical set in 1920s New Orleans. The film was supposed to feature Maddie, a black chambermaid working for a spoilt white southern debutante. Maddie was to be helped by a voodoo priestess fairy godmother to win the heart of a white prince after he rescued her from the clutches of a voodoo magician. TIANA was supposed to be a chambermaid, a slave, slavery, like just cookie cutter slavery. Not even. Is that not slavery? I'm not hearing alarm bells. When they changed it, all they did was make it not technically her slave, but I could see it. Before I even knew that was the original plot, I could see it in the movie. As soon as TIANA came out and that white lady was there, and TIANA was being all like, oh, look at me, also in a princess dress, but not actually gonna marry the prince. Here you go, let me help you with your makeup. Here you go, let me help you with your emotional issues.
Yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check. I was an employee, and I was gonna get employee of the month, and that's on period.
I could see handmaid written all over the plot. I could see it. So I'm not surprised that she was originally supposed to be a handmaid. What they did was, I think that Disney does, where they're like, okay, to make it less racist, we'll make it explicit, we'll just make it a little bit more subtle. Make it a little more subtle. So now she's not the handmaid, she just acts like one. You see what we did there? So now they can't say it's racism because obviously, like, she's not actually a slave. It's great. Like, now she's a waitress, so she doesn't actually work for white people. She just happens to be somebody who is in a serving role, and she's black. That's genius. Like, they're never gonna guess that it was racist. They're not gonna know. We knew. I knew. I'm being so dramatic today. It's Sunday morning. I should not be this dramatic. It is what it is. Let's talk about the original plot of the actual story. In the original book that it was based on, she never turned into a frog. She didn't. The original Grimm Brothers tale has two disputed endings, but the earliest one has now been clarified and accepted as the real ending is the one where she does not turn into a frog. Secondly, in the original tale, she was a princess at the beginning of the movie. She didn't become a princess or work her way up to be a princess or marry into somebody else's family to become a princess. She was a princess. Already. Why was she a frog? For like 72% of the movie. That's a statistic, I read it somewhere. She was a frog for like 72% of the movie. 72% of the screen time of the first Black Princess was a frog. My character that they wanted me to dress up as every single year was a frog for 70% of her screen time. Is that what people think of me? I should be a frog? I'm a frog? Am I a frog now? Am I below you now? Is this racism? I'm saying, of course it's racism. But the only good thing about this movie was how fine Prince Naveen was. And guess what? I thought he was black this whole time. He's not even black. The man isn't even black. He's supposed to be Middle Eastern. No one even knows that man's from. We don't even have a black prince. It hasn't actually happened. We thought it happened. We thought that Prince Naveen was that man. I thought that Prince Naveen was that man. Prince Naveen was my crush. Him and Lee Shang. We're going to talk about how they removed Lee Shang from the Milan movie. That's going to be a different video. That man isn't even black. But he was still fine. So I'll allow it. Prince Naveen was the only good thing to come out of that entire movie. Because he just happens to be the finest Disney prince. And he was married to my girl TIANA, who's not my girl because we're beefing, like I said. Disney. My friend sent me this TikTok just the other day. I'll put it on the screen.
So I hear that Disney's coming out with this new movie here. Those characters better stay human for the whole movie.
I am absolutely not playing with y'all at all. Yes, animation studios, I'm calling you out. You need to learn how to keep your characters of color human for the entire movie. I'm tired of seeing our people represented as animals or objects. Our first Black Princess TIANA had to be a frog for 62% of the movie. 62%. What did you do to me? Y'all really thought you was slick with this new Soul movie that came out, where you turn the main character into not only a soul, but a cat for half of the movie. And then we got Blue Sky following right in their footsteps, turning the main character into a pigeon for 45% of the movie. Y'all did the same thing to our indigenous characters too back in the day. You think I forgot about Brother Bear? The Emperor's New Groove? The movies are great. I just want to know why we can't stay human.
Is it a coincidence that every single time there is a black person on screen that turned into a cartoon animal. I am so shocked, but I shouldn't have been. I shouldn't have been shocked. I should have known when they turned Tiana into a frog that there was something up. I should have known when they took this fine man. They took this fine man. Yo, the first time I saw this trailer, I was like, that man is so fine. I was like, this is my new crush. Like, yay! With representation. And he's fine. And Will Smith is voicing him. And Will Smith is fine. And it's just, yes. And then they turned the man into a pigeon. They turned that fine man into a pigeon. It still hurts. Like a pigeon, that's vermin. Pigeon are street vermin. They are vermin. They are considered vermin. They could even turn into an eagle or something. A pigeon, really are. But you know, I'm not actually surprised, because in the last year we found out that people can't relate to this, but are more than willing, because we also the Sainsbury's adverts, they're more than willing to relate to that, to this, no complaint. But as soon as it's this, all of a sudden, we can't relate, like, oh, it's so relatable. So I'm not surprised they turned all their black characters into inanimate objects and animals and stuff. Because, come on. We live in a world, we live in a society where the Bible says in 1 John 2 verse 11, anyone who hates a brother or sister is in darkness and walks around in darkness. They do not know where they are going because the darkness has blinded them. If you have a racial bias towards black people or people of any type of skin color, race, height, gender, anything, you're walking in darkness. If you hate them for that, you're walking in darkness. The Bible's always said, hate the sin, not the sinner. 1 Timothy 5:21 says, I charge you in the sight of God and Jesus Christ and the elect angels to keep these instructions without partiality. Do nothing out of favoritism. James 2:1 says the same thing. Do not show favoritism if you are a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. And lastly, Romans 2:11, God does not show favoritism. My thing I'm trying to say is, Disney, I really hope you can do better. I really hope you can do better. That's just my rant this morning. That's literally what I came to tell you this morning. I have nothing else to say. Oh, side note, did you know the Goofy movie is a black movie? It sat with me. It just clicked like that when this website called Black Nerd Problems, which I stumbled on by accident, showed me a few things, like that scene when Goofy's son Max, who's the main protagonist, does this.
Student body president, I just want to say, like, yay to all of us for a really neat year.
Yo, Stacy! Talk to me, baby!
And the principal calls his dad and says,
Oof, he's in trouble. Trouble? What kind of trouble?
Dressed like a gang member.
Gang member?
Your son caused the entire student body to break into a riotous frenzy.
Riot? Couldn't be
If I
mine.
were you, Mr. Goof, I'd seriously reevaluate the way you're raising your child before he ends up in the electric chair.
The electric chair?
who else is accused of being a gang member? For no reason. Black people. And all of a sudden, everything in the movie makes sense. Thank you guys for watching my video, and like, comment, share, subscribe, and I hope that we can do better. Coco knows we need to do better.
It wasn't on y'all though. I could have been doing more. I was just hurt and traumatized, disgusted.